And welcome back. We are going to go ahead and look at how to take a class and turn it into an abstract class. So I'm starting here by looking at our employee class that we made abstract last time, just to kind of use that as a reference for what we want our class to be. So I pulled up the pet and dog class here that we've used in previous examples. And what I want to do is I want to turn this into an abstract class. Of course, this also means we could have abstract methods. Now, if I have an abstract method, remember, it means the class itself has to be abstract. We saw that, for example, last time. If I took out the word abstract here in the class, we got an error. Similarly, if I take out the word abstract here in the method here, it's going to want more information. You can see it's like, what is this here? Because it doesn't have the proper format here. These have to be like open, close curly brackets just to start here. Plus, it doesn't have a return in here, so it's yelling about that. So even if we put in here just like return 0, we can get this to work. Of course, then we don't see that necessarily here. It's when we actually go to execute it, we'll run into those issues. So back that up a little bit. Let's go over to our pet class then, and let's make this a abstract class here. So we know that we can have an abstract class without necessarily abstract methods here. So I'm just going to go ahead and put abstract class. And so now we can go ahead and create our method. Now the method could be anything, all right? So let's just go ahead and do this with any kind of thing. So let's say, for example, let's do a microchipped status. All right, so we're going to create an abstract method called microchipped status. And so we're probably going to need to make sure that we make this public, because remember, you can do protector package, but you just can't do private. So I'm going to go to public, and I have to add the keyword abstract. So we've got to have that modifier there. And after we apply that, we can, of course, say what type do we want this to return. Is it going to be void? Is it going to be string? Is it going to be double? So for this one, because we're trying to get a status, it's probably going to end up being a string type that we are getting. And then, of course, just put our method in here, whether or not we want to pass any parameters, and give a semicolon. Now, this one I'm not going to, for our assumption, let's just say there's nothing here. But maybe we could have other ones. So, for example, maybe I have the same method here, but maybe I want to pass in a status here. So, for example, maybe I have a parameterized one, and you can see you can do multiple versions. You can overload those as well very easy. Now you look at dog is now saying, I have an error here. Why is there an error? Well, if we look at it, it says it has to implement that method that I created. So if I go ahead and just add those unimplemented methods, I can click that, and you will see it will add those in here. Right now it's just returning null because these haven't actually been defined. So we'd have to come here and properly define what do we want these methods to look like, which of course would be pretty easy to do. Now, one thing that we can keep in mind is, what if we wanted to make dog abstract? All right, what if we wanted to add this as an abstract class? All right, so we can do this. Of course, we have some method that we'd have to create that's abstract. So if we had a specific type of dog, we could add that in there. It wouldn't be a problem. But I'm just going to go ahead and just leave this class here as is. And I want to go ahead and, if we look at our shelter type here, one thing I want to point out real quick, I should actually put this back on here real quick just so I can show you this to you. If I make dog abstract, because I created this dog type here, you can see we have an error here. It's like, what is this error? Cannot instantiate the type dog, and that's because this is abstract here. So this is one thing to kind of keep in mind of if you start making like your derived classes abstract, that you'll have to properly accommodate them, because remember, you can't create objects here with a abstract class. So I have to create a specific derived class of dog in order for me to go ahead and instantiate this to a proper value. So again, I'm going to take that out here, but I want to make sure we saw that in here. But making a abstract class is actually a relatively easy process. As we saw, we just add the modifier abstract, we create our appropriate methods, and then any derived classes, we just go ahead and make sure those are implemented and then code those methods accordingly.